We always think that black businesses are in solidarity with us. No, they're in solidarity with capitalism. There's no loyalty in capitalism. There's no integrity or community in capitalism. And that's why they just changed the formula and didn't tell us. Because you don't do that to people you are genuinely in community with. They're not in community with us. We are their customers. Hey, I'm Queen and welcome to the Mixed Vixen channel. I'm Queen, that's my name, and Mixed Vixen is the channel. Just wanted to straighten that up. A lot of y'all have been calling me Mixed Vixen. Nah, I'm Queen. If you're new here, hey boo, and if you're not new here, thanks for coming through again. I really appreciate you. As you can see by the name of this video, I am not rooting for everyone black, and you're probably like, well, like what? Huh? Let me explain. When I say I'm not rooting for everyone black, I actually mean that, do I want all black people to be liberated? Yes. Do I bangs with all black people? No, I don't. I am specifically today going to talk about black capitalism and black capitalists and why I don't root for them. So I am anti-capitalist. I'm not for capitalism. That's not my thing. Do I live in a capitalist system? Yes. Do I try to survive in a capitalist system? Of course. What other choice do I have? Capitalism, even if it's black, is inherently bad, is inherently exploitative. It would never be anything that benefits black people and our liberation in the USA and the rest of the world, honestly. So I know that for myself, I've always like rooted for everyone black when it came to like game shows, sports, whatever. You know, you root for the black family on Family Feud and everything like that. And then the saying became more commonplace to people outside of blackness when Issa Rae did this on the Emmys red. I don't even know if it was the Emmys. Some award show red carpet.
Who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am.
I understand its sentiment. We want to show solidarity. We want to show like that we're hopeful, especially the people who believe in the black excellence goal, love the rooting for everyone black, idea. And then because of the scarcity that white supremacy creates among us, we have decided that no matter what, if we see a black person in a space, we are going to root for them, because lots of us believe in the only one idea or the exceptional black idea, or that only one of us could get to the top. So when we do see someone there, it's like, it doesn't even matter if they're for us or against your politic, we have to root for them. And that's not true. That's not something we should be doing. There are many things in American blackness that I can't relate to. And today we're going to discuss why I don't root for black capitalism. And I'm going to use some pop culture current events to explain why that's not my thing. So unless you were living under a rock or you are Gen X and above and you're not online like that, on June 11th, there was something that became big called pink sauce. So Chef P, a Miami-based private chef, social media influencer, posted on TikTok herself dipping some, like a chicken tender in some pink sauce that she made. And she took a bite. And the video got over 755,000 views at that time, and maybe more now. She began selling this sauce to people. There were many inconsistencies in the ingredients of what was actually in this sauce. The way she was packaging it was questionable. The way she was shipping it, this is something that happened in the summer. So she was shipping this stuff in a hot ass summer in just like regular boxes. There are people who said they have gotten sick from using this pink sauce. I personally don't understand buying a sauce from a random stranger on TikTok, but okay, it happens. And this got so popular that she's even gotten a brand deal since all of this happened, which is honestly absurd to me. This is a prime example of capitalism being inherently exploitative. So how does a person manage to do this? She didn't care about creating a safe product, because why would you care about safety when the goal is to make money? The goal of capitalism is always profit. So why would you care about the safety of the product? She just cared about making money. Capitalism goal is to make the most profit with the least amount of labor costs. So that's what she did. So that's the exploitative nature of it. Then I also saw folks who were supporting her simply because she was black. Is it difficult for a black person to have a successful business in this country on a mass level? Definitely. But that does not mean that I am still going to advocate for someone who is creating products that is not safe, that is making people sick, that has inconsistencies in the ingredients. People are eating this, it's going in their bodies. I'm not rooting for someone who will carelessly do that. That makes no sense. There's been countless videos of her kind of just like dismissing people's claims of sickness. People were talking about it being FDA approved, and she's like, I don't need it FDA approved. So there's obviously some ignorance involved in this, which is honestly not horrible. I have ignorance when it comes to what I do as a content creator, so I totally understand that. But it was just weird to see solidarity for her in that. This is harmful. This is not safe. And at that moment, this is not a time for me to advocate for a black person, especially when the people who buy products from black businesses the most are other black people. This is not something we should be doing. So like I said earlier, she did get a brand deal, and I can't remember the name of the manufacturer who's going to help her make this in mass and, sell it. But because capitalism exploits people and has no problems exploiting people, she has gotten a brand deal off this. And it's wild that someone can harm people and be this careless, but in the name of capitalism, someone still decides to work with someone and help them create a product in mass. So the product might be better now because she has the tools and the infrastructure now to make it better. But the fact that someone saw something so harmful and saw money because of the amount of eyes on this, because of the amount of people who are aware of this, and it was like, you know what? Yes, let's do that. Just shows how exploitive capitalism is. In capitalism, the customer, the people who are getting sick, or the people who got packages that were like burst or got product that just was like spoiled already, and the laborer always gets exploited in this process. There is no capitalistic process where the customer and the laborer are not exploited. So I don't even want that in blackness. That being black now and the black person being the face of that now does not make it better. So do I support black businesses? Yes, of course I do. Shit, I'm a black business, But I think there is a thin line between supporting black businesses and romanticizing black businesses. And I think that is a line that y'all jump back and forth from, tiptoe around a lot. Many people see black business and the financial opportunities that black businesses provide as a path to liberation, and it is not, because capitalism, like I said earlier, is too exploitative for that to be a space where liberation thrives. Life does get better with more money. So I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm not saying money isn't necessary. But what I'm saying is life being better and liberation are not synonymous. Those are not the same thing. Liberation means that we are totally free of all systems. And my life being a little better because of money does not mean that. Do you remember the Honeypot breakdown? Do you know of the Honeypot company? If you don't, Honeypot is a line of feminine care and sexual wellness products founded by Bea Dixon. It's been in business since 2014. I have actually used these products. The products were marked to be plant-derived with no artificial fragrances or added parabens, backed by a team of female gynecologists, and most important, owned by Black women. But then this happened.
About Honeypot. So I love this product. I swear by it. I've been using it for some time now. Started using it because I don't like the ingredients that are in products like Summer's Eves and all of the other products that are out there for feminine care. Now, what I want to point out is that I recently noticed that something is different. The one that I have says no parabens on the front, along with all of the ingredients that, it typically has. I recently went to the store the other day with a friend and I introduced her to the Yuka app. Yuka is an app where you can scan and it'll tell you if a product is good or bad. The one that I have in my possession scans for 100 out of 100, excellent, has all good ingredients. Now, when I recently went to the store, this is the one that I scanned on the Yuka app and it comes up for 21 out of 100. Mind you, it's the same brand, the same type. It's the Honeypot Aloe Wash and something is now completely different. I'm going to show y'all another picture. This is the picture that I took and as you can see on the front, it doesn't have the no parabens anymore. And just so y'all know that I'm not lying, this is the one that I currently have in my possession that says no parabens on the front, and this is what it scans for, and this is the list of ingredients. Now, I want to make it very clear that I'm not bashing the company or trying to blast them by any means because I really do love the products. But my whole point for switching is because certain feminine care products have a lot of harsh chemicals in them, and I wanted to switch to something that was more natural, more holistic, and healthy. So I am a little perplexed as to what's going on. Are they changing the product indefinitely? Will there be different versions of the product? Is she selling her company? I think that this is something her targeted audience needs to be made aware of because it kind of defeats the purpose of having a healthier option.
They changed the formula and told nobody. They ain't tell anybody that they changed the formula. And Honeypot and Bea Dixon were dragged up and down socials. I remember this day. It was strange to me. There were also rumors that she was selling the company, which weren't true, but that was going around that she sold her business, like she completely sold out. So she changed the formula and then she sold it. So everyone was calling her a sellout and all of that stuff was going around. What was interesting to me was with the excluding of changing those products and not telling anybody because they was wilding for that. So with the exclusion of that, a lot of the anger that I saw surrounded by this rumor of her selling the business was because of the romanticization of Black business, that this would be the way, that we put so much pressure on Black businesses being perfect. We put so much importance on Black business anyway, when all businesses function in capitalism because that's the system that we live in. I think we should stop romanticizing Black businesses because all it does is set you up to be angry. I've used the product. I like that it was a successful brand. I was happy to see it grow. I used the products before they were even Target. So I was happy to see this business grow and for it to become more accessible for me to get because it was now in Target. But I did have some insight about the owner that I'm pretty sure other people did not. So there was a time when I was in my capitalist bag where it was like, all I just need to do is be a successful content creator, own my own business. Like I was on that. That's not as important to me anymore. I do like creating content, but if it becomes my sole employment, cool. If it doesn't, it's cool as well, right? So I was this podcast I used to listen to called Side Hustle Pro, and she was on the episode. I will link the episode down below if you would like to hear that episode. But in that episode, Bea Dixon as a guest, she sounded very capitalist. She was, and in a regular way, not in an overt exploitive way, but she was talking about venture capital. She was talking about eventually scaling up and selling the business because she thinks that it is important that Black people make many different businesses and, cash out and, be brought out and make a new business. Like all of this capitalistic business type language that I don't really know because that's not really my world. She was using all of that speak. So when that rumor came out that she sold it, I was not surprised. I did not think it was far-fetched or anything. So she has openly expressed ideas that align with capitalism that I wasn't surprised about. So it didn't even seem far-fetched for her to sell the company. What I think the issue is that because people think Black businesses and Black financial gain is the sole way for Black liberation, is that anytime we see someone with a Black business, we just assume that they have the same politics as us. And that's not the case. This woman does not have the same politics as me and does not have the same politics as many people. So why place that expectation on her simply because she's Black? And I know it's because of romanticization of Black business, and also because we're always rooting for everyone Black. I don't want them to fail, but at the same time, I knew her politic. So I knew that we didn't bangs like that. We always think that Black businesses are in solidarity with us. No, they're in solidarity with capitalism. There's no loyalty in capitalism. There's no integrity or community in capitalism. And that's why they just changed the formula and didn't tell us. Because you don't do that to people you are genuinely in community with. They're not in community with us. We are their customers. So we should not romanticize Black business. You shouldn't even romanticize your relationship with me as a content creator person. I'm human. There's going to be a day where I disappoint you. That's how it goes. Jackie Aina and Forever Mood, that situation was something. And I am a person who enjoys Jackie Aina's channel. I find her entertaining. I find her clever, so on and so forth. I know there's people who have lots of issues with her. I don't, because I just take her as an entertainer, and I know her and I do not have the same politic, and that's okay. I don't expect everyone to have the same exact politic as me. Am I rooting for her downfall? No. But in this instance, I definitely was not rooting for Jackie Aina. And that is the whole Forever Mood candle debacle that went down. If you don't know, Jackie Aina, a beauty influencer, very popular YouTuber, also has a candle line called Forever Mood. And in August, I believe it was actually on her birthday, which is just like wild. I have learned to never do any kind of drop of anything around my birthday, because if the world don't like it, your birthday is ruined. Like, woo child. She released a candle line on her birthday, and it was supposed to be, kind of a nod to being a Nigerian American person, and she named one of her candles Sore Soki. That is a phrase which translates to speak louder in the Yoruba language in Nigeria, the region of Nigeria. It was a rallying cry used in the demonstrations against police brutality in Nigeria. I remember when this was really, really huge on my timeline. The equivalency of this phrase for Black Americans to understand a little closely is I can't breathe. Like if somebody put I can't breathe on a candle and we started selling it, you would have a problem. So many Nigerian social media users have denounced the candle fragrance name as insensitive and criticized Jackie for being slow to use her platform to boost the movement at the height of the protests. I remember this. I remember at the height of the protests, and I remember lots of people being angry at her for not talking about, NSARS and, anything when it came to these protests. I remember this. I remember this. And not everyone who is of a population has to be a part of the demonstrations or protests against it. So I'm not faulting her for that. There are many Black people who were not engaged at all in the movement for Black lives and still aren't engaged at all in the movement for Black lives. The problem is not being engaged, not doing anything, but then choosing to capitalize off of it and making money off of it. That is where the issue lies. That's where the critique comes in, because it's like, girl, really? Really? Making money off of any kind of liberation movement is not solidarity. It is just capitalizing off of people's oppression. And I'm not rooting for that. I think what happens is that most people think blackness, just blackness, is a politic. And that's not true. There's many iterations of blackness and many different Black politics. A lot of us have different politics. Even that is not monolithic. So you can want liberation for everyone, But that don't mean, well, I'm rooting for everything that everyone does. There are things that Black people can do to each other that is harmful. This was something that was harmful. You do not make money off of the oppression of people. Protests and paths to liberations that people take are not a marketing tool. It should never be. I never purchased one, but now I'm thinking of those I Can't Breathe shirts that came out when Eric Garner was murdered by police here in New York City. Those were his last words before he died. Why was that even on a t-shirt? Like, what the heck was going on? It became a protest chant. I have said it. That is when I was more on the ground when it came to protests and stuff. I don't protest in the street anymore, but I was in the streets during this time. But now 10 years later, almost 10 years later from his death, I even question that. Why are we selling shirts that say I can't breathe? Why are we capitalizing off of a Black man's last words before his death? What is wrong with us? Being rich does not mean that people are doing the work. Classism makes us think that people who are rich are smarter, they know more things, and it's not true at all. It also doesn't mean that they understand what us regular as W4 having people do and what we go through and what life is like for us. Being a rich Black person doesn't remove you from racism, but it gives you privilege. Classism is real. I know Black people don't like talking about classism, but classism is real. Classism favors the rich. So even being Black, you can have privilege in class and be completely removed from the harm that classism creates. There's an intersection, though, that is erased when you only focus on race. You can have class privilege, but that doesn't remove you completely from harm. I understand that. White supremacist patriarchal capitalism is an intersection that works off of each other. They need each other actually to sustain itself. All of those things come together to fuck us up, and we have to dismantle all of those pieces for freedom. So just focusing on class and thinking that class mobility makes these other systems, patriarchy, white supremacy, disappear is false. It's not true. It would never be it. Capitalism needs a surplus population. Capitalism needs people on the bottom. Capitalism needs laborers. Capitalism needs houseless people. It needs all of those things for the system to work. And in order for that to work, these other isms have to exist. You have to be homophobic. You have to be racist. You need these other things. We need a reason to make you the surplus population. And that is how all of these systems, these isms, these systems of oppression work together to uphold the ruling class. So no iterations of Black capitalism would ever save us, because what does Black capitalism do to white supremacy? Nothing. What does Black capitalism do to patriarchy? Nothing. What does Black capitalism do to dismantle queerphobia? Nothing. What does it do to dismantle ableism? Nothing. The latest Black billionaire to get on my nerve is Jay-Z. This happened in Twitter Spaces, and I don't know why Jay-Z keeps talking in Twitter Spaces, because every time he does, he says something ridiculous, but he be doing it.
Yeah, and we're not gonna stop. The hip hop is young. We still growing, and we're not falling for that technology, whatever this public puts out there. Now that before was the American dream. Pull yourself out of bootstraps, and you can make it in America. All these lies that America told us our whole life. And then when we start getting it, they try to lock us out of it. They start inventing words like capitalist and things like that. I mean, we've been called nigger and monkeys and shit. I don't care. Those words y'all come up with, y'all got to come up with stronger words. When I say y'all, I'm not talking about you. The words they come up with, they got to come up with stronger words.
Comparing being called a capitalist to being called a monkey or the N-word, like, what is you doing? What is you doing? Beyonce, Queen Capitalist, get your man, because he wildin'. The amount of erasure in that statement, Jay clearly is not doing the work. Jay clearly is not reading the reads. Jay clearly is not listening to the podcast. He's not watching this channel. He's not doing anything but being a rich billionaire. I don't expect him or lots of black men to know the theories of black queer women that have affirmed a lot of my ideas and a lot of my theories on black liberation. I don't expect them to know that, but like at the very least, there are black men who have talked about this stuff. Malcolm X has talked about black capitalism not being it. Martin Luther King has talked about black capitalism not being for us. He did a whole movie about Fred Hampton, who was adamantly anti-capitalist. How do you not know and understand these things? Because you don't have to, because you feel that because you're a black billionaire, you have done all the work that needs to be done. And that's why I say black billionaires to the back. I don't root for black billionaires because honestly, they don't need me to. They're not rooting for me. I would like to know your thoughts on black capitalism and some of the points that I brought up in this video. Are these things you thought about before or not? I would like to know. Please leave them down below. I really love when y'all talk to me. Y'all be doing your thing down there. Y'all be doing your thing. So thanks for watching this video. Thank you to my patrons. Y'all are real ones. I really appreciate you. You can become a patron for as low as $2 a month. You can get lots of exclusive content by becoming a patron. You help me keep this thing going because I live in a capitalistic world and I'm, gotta pay these bills. As always, you are enough. You are a bad bitch, and I will see you in the next one.